I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming home. Let the rain wash away all the pain of yesterday. I know my kingdom awaits, and they're forgiven nowadays. I'm coming home, coming home. Tell the world I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming home. Let the rain wash away all the pain of yesterday. I know my kingdom awaits, and it's forgiven nowadays. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming. I'm coming I'm coming home. I'm coming home.
I'm coming home. Welcome to Awakening Hearts Radio, brought to you live by Off the Cuff Radio. So glad to be here again on this cold, wet day in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's not exactly raining at the moment, but it feels wet and the breeze is so cool and refreshing. Hello, everyone. My name is Tess Vergara, host of this show, Awakening Hearts. I'm a certified strategic interventionist and awakening coach, and I run a business called Open Heart Mind Coaching, where I help those, who are in their quest for peace and joy and soul fulfillment, but are stuck in inner struggle as they find themselves kind of like midway or halfway down the bridge between the left brain and the right brain, the mind and the heart, the ego and the soul, the human and the divine. That's, they're like right there in the middle. These are all our aspects. And sometimes when we are leaving the old consciousness behind, not knowing what's there waiting for us, which is so far out into the future, it creates a lot of resistance and struggle internally because we are trying to live the new world from old awarenesses, right? So we need to upgrade, and that's what the show is all about. So today's topic, is it resistance or realization? Just let that sink in for a second, right? Is it resistance or realization? When you've done your work, when you've up-leveled your consciousness, is it still resistance, or Are you realizing something new? Are you realizing your potential? Are you realize different aspects of yourself, right? So that's the topic for today. And let's expand that further. Is it resistance or realization? Is it judgment or awareness? Is it attachment or knowingness? These are things that we need to think about, because you know what? The danger is self-flagellation. The danger is constant self-blame. The danger is never ever graduating from the work and never ever fully stepping into what it is that's calling us. Does that make sense? So my intention on Awakening Hearts podcast, brought to you live by Off the Cuff Radio, is to reveal insights and strategies how not to get yanked back in the world of shame, blame, judgment, and fear. The reason people awaken, this is a quote I love so much and I love saying it again and again. The reason people awaken is because they have finally stopped agreeing to things that insult their soul. And that's from Anonymous. And more people are now waking up. More and more people are not only feeling more hope and optimism, but are actually seeing proof that a new world is stabilizing. A new world that is founded in love consciousness is here right now. Right? Did you guys catch the news from Thailand? It wasn't that 2 weeks ago, right? 12 boys and their football coach trapped in a cave survived underground for 17 days, right? It was a huge rescue effort. We all witnessed a miracle, right? How did the boys survive underground being trapped for 17 days? Just imagine that. So remarkably, they all, they got out of it in good health, not stressed after that old deal. And this is the new world, new reality that we are living in. More and more are experiencing and witnessing and celebrating extraordinary moments like this, extraordinary miracles. And that really is you, Awakening Hearts. That's calling that in. So it's surprising, and yet it's not, because we are calling that in. We are bringing that in with our intentions. Our reality has really shifted, and more people are finding their voice, their truth, their power. More and more people are unleashing this life force, this energy, this unstoppableness, their very soul that no longer wants to be trapped anymore. And more people are taking courage and deliberate consciousness to go beyond and out of their comfort zone to really realize their greatest potential. And it's baby steps. I'm not saying we're there, and really there is no there. And my producer is saying interesting. I wonder what she's saying interesting to. Right? But yeah, more and more, and that's what I'd like for people to see is up-level their awareness that there may be darkness out there, but we're also shining our light, and we need to see this proof, this evidence of light, more and more light sparkling out there, and really lifting the vibration on the planet, right? It's unstoppable. Even if you want to stop it, you cannot stop it. It's the force of the collective who are aware, who are awake, who are awakening hearts. And that is you. Ooh. Right. So I am so blessed to see this in myself, in my clients that I support, in my colleagues. And yeah, really, like I said, you can't stop it. You really don't have a choice but to surrender to it. If you don't surrender to it, you feel a lot of resistance, right? It's a huge resistance. And that's the topic of today. Is it resistance or realization? So this unstoppable force is creating space for more of light to come. It's breathing life into it. We're breathing. It's like life is breathing us, and we're breathing life, and there's no more separation, right? So you get the experience of this unstoppable force, and yet you are this unstoppable force, and you are in awe. Oh my God, right? When you look back and see the awesomeness of the miracles that you helped create, you're like, oh my God, I actually created that. And oh my God, I don't know how I could have done it. I couldn't have done it by myself, but oh my God, I was part of that miracle. And I made that happen. So yes, there's this infinite force at work in our lives right now, where when you are in total flow and alignment with it, you are the miracle. Miracles happen, and you are it. You're the conduit, and you are the accomplice. And that's the reality we are in right now. Call me Pollyanna, call me whatever you like, but that is what I'm seeing. We are ready. We are already coming out of our shell. We are no longer hiding. We are no longer playing small. We may go unconscious a little bit, and that old patterning will show up where, oh, I don't know, I don't want to do that. But no, we get pushed right into the center of things again and again. We keep getting redirected, right? So that, we're no longer questioning our purpose. We just know that we belong, we are here, we're doing this no matter what, no matter what, no matter what. At least that's the energy that I'm experiencing, and my clients as well. They can try to hide, they can try to do the old patterning, like I said, but there's always a redirection, and there's always a resistance, but then there's also a realization. So that's the topic of today, resistance or realization. Let me check in with Sprinkles here, how she's doing. Yeah, about awakening statement of the unknown. Very interesting. Yes, because when we tighten up, when we don't know what's going to happen, we tighten up. That's our human tendency to tighten up, to contract, to go back into the safety mechanism, protective mechanism. But guess what? We were just talking before the show that the energy is so erratic right now. It is really lifting us up to face whatever it is that we're uncomfortable about, or whatever it is that we're fearful about. And if we're fearful about change, the whole energy coming from the sun, coming from the planets, the planetary alignments itself, everything from Mother Earth itself, is helping shift our awarenesses to the truth of who we are, right? So we're instruments of love to be. I believe, right? Our purpose is to be divinity in action, to be faces of God, to be conduits of this unstoppable force that I'm talking about, this unstoppable force of creation. Only to realize we had a hand in it the whole time. It was us all along. And so more and more and more, the separation between this human concept and God concept is merging, and the separation is disappearing. We're becoming one. This is unity consciousness. So I made a comment on my Facebook post. Someone made a comment, and I commented back where I said God needs a body, and we are it. We are the body. Right? So there's this merge in consciousness now happening, where the human and the divine is no longer separate. It's a divine union, and it's exquisite. When we get glimpses of it, it's so exquisite. I was telling Sprinkles that before the partial eclipse, was it? I can't remember. I have no concept of time really, but when it was before the partial eclipse, it was like my energy was like, not my energy, but the energy that I was feeling was like a flat line. I was still bubbly and stuff like that. My my energy, my personal energy, but what I was feeling is this flat line of like nothingness. It was like, and I'm like, what the heck's going on? And so I was constantly redirecting my own consciousness to not go sliding into old reality, but continue on to holding on the vibration of light, holding on what I know is happening. But it was a huge test. I tell you that. So much so that the day of the eclipse itself, I was high as the kite, and I was like, oh my God, it was such a breakthrough. It was such an interesting experience. Oh, hey, Jonathan, welcome to Facebook. And so, yeah, like I said, there is this merge in consciousness right now, but there is also this, like, you can also feel the both consciousness at work, where you will be in higher heights one moment, and then you're going to experience lower lows. So the danger is when you believe, when you still bring the old consciousness into the now moment and believing in your lack, believing in your not enoughness, believing in your not deservingness, and not stepping into your worth, your value, your face as God itself. Does that make sense? So there, more and more, there's going to be a huge contrast between the two timelines, the two realities, whatever you call it. There's a, and it's up to you to create a distinction between the two and what reality you want to put your energy into and really focus all of your being into creating. You are being called to create a new reality. We don't know what that is. And it's up to you to create it as the face of God that you are, as the unique emanation of the divine spark that you are, right? So just really enjoy this awareness of this merge in consciousness now happening, where the human and divine is no longer separate. It's the divine marriage, it's the divine union, and it's absolutely amazing to wake up and realize, oh my God, it's actually happening to me. Oh my God, it's actually happening for me. And oh my God, it's actually happening through me as the conduit. And oh my God, it's actually happening as me, as the I am consciousness. Right? Oh my God. And so this is the new world awakening heart. So we have vibrationally changed our address. We don't live in the world of blame and shame and fear and separation any longer, no longer in judgment, right? So is it judgment or realization? Is it judgment or awareness? These are the questions that I am bringing into your awareness, so you're aware of, oh my God, stop putting the blame on you, right? At some point, you need to graduate yourself, and anything else that needs shuffling and sorting through and stuff, it will all come up to be cleared, to be resolved, to be purified. But give yourself a break. Really step into who you really are. Right. So yeah. So this is a very terrifying process to step into the unknown. Everything that you ever know and believe will be challenged. There will be a whole lot of redirection. So just really, now this is the time to really support yourself. Really, this is the ultimate self-love, to really stand behind you and for you and know that this is what you've been searching for your whole life. You know, what you've been seeking is seeking you. And you are meant to shine your heart so bright so that your soul, your light shines like a beacon. And people remember their truth and their light just by you, being what you came here to do. So awakening hearts, I believe you are paving the way so that our souls can fully inhabit in our physicalness, in our physical bodies, But here, walking on earth, unbounded, uninhibited, unapologetic as the divine human beings that we are. And it's not a question of becoming it. We are already being it. Little bits and pieces. If you can connect it, it'll expand. What you focus on expands and becomes your reality, right? So that's why I want you to really celebrate and yummy, salivate, really salivate and celebrate every little bit of proof and what do you call it? Evidence that you are in the beingness of the divinity. You are divinity in action. Whew. Yes, yes, yes. Counting to 10 and breathing gets me through this. Thank you, Sprinkle. So yeah, that, and even imagining the pause, like even really raising your hand and putting it at a pause sign, like stop, just puts you into that break, or picturing the stop sign, whatever it is that will have you bring you back to the present moment, that is not your reality any longer, and this is who you are already. Not a question of becoming. Claim it. You are it already, the divinity that you are, right? And by awakening, awakening hearts are creating a ripple effect, affecting change far and wide, not just in your personal space, but the whole world around you and generations to come. It's just so amazing. If you can see your power, what you are impacting, not your small space, but infinite space, right? And the beauty is, I don't know if you feel this, but I do. We're no longer doing it alone. Can you feel it? Can you feel the presence of your higher aspects, your highest expressions, and experiencing other people coming together, acting as conduits, all jumping in, like the divers, right? Who in Thailand, the divers who showed up for the 12 boys and their coach, just up and not even thinking about the dangers to their lives, but just really fully showing up in service to light, to love, to freedom. And when we come from this space of pure love and service, no judgment, no attachment, no resistance, we create astounding miracles effortlessly, because we are acting as pure instruments of miracles. To be able to make it happen, we become the eyes and ears and mouth and hands of God, the face of God. And the more and more we experience daily miracles in us, through us, we stand in awe, mouths wide open. At least I find myself more and more with my mouth wide open in awe. How did that happen? And yet I could see happening. Oh my God, right? So if you've been following what Abraham has been teaching us all along, I'm like, oh, yes, I get it. And I see a post from Abraham, I'm like, oh, I actually get it now. And like the very next awareness is like, what's just happened, right? I thought yeah, it's like I said, I felt like there was a flatlining happening before the eclipse, before the partial eclipse, and I was like, really tempted to go back into the old thinking patterns of, oh my God, what did I do now? Or, right? So there's just that awareness though. If you, how do I say this? There's an awareness, but if you don't engage in it and just stay in observation mode, you can stay completely unattached to it and just let the thoughts go by, right? But in my work as a coach, it's always training people how to observe the thought, observe what they're present to, without the narratives, without the usual story that they tell themselves. Does that make sense? And so it's yay, hi Rossi and Peg, welcome, and Jonathan, thank you for being on Facebook. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I was just saying that there's when this awareness comes in of an old reality, don't hang on to it, don't engage, don't identify with it. Realize that it is just showing up because it's on its way out. Because there will be many moments, right? I don't know if this resonate with you, Rossi, Peg, and Jonathan, where 1 minute you're in absolute bliss and glory and so aligned with your highest knowingness, and the next minute, WTF, what just happened? Like here at the bottom low, right? It's like, what? Is my mind playing tricks on me? I thought I got it, but now I don't got it. Right? And so it's really important to stay in the awareness that these are just distinctions, and this is you choosing what you want to experience, not what you are being pulled back, by habitual thinking, habituated patterns, right? But really choosing again and again and again to be the light that you are, to be divinity in action. So do comment in the Zoom chat box, or if you're on Facebook, please comment. Let me go on Facebook here for a second. Let's see how everyone's doing. Okay, there it is. I find it. How's everyone doing? Oops, no, I can't do that because I can hear. Okay, no, I'm hearing my voice. So yeah, Sprinkles, just let me know what's going on Facebook. So yeah, amazing, right? So if you have questions, we've got 5 minutes before the break. Do let me know. I know I'm like talking nonstop, but this is, ta-da, welcome to the new you. Welcome to your highest expressions, right? It's no longer the old world where you're playing small or this and that, lots of excuses, lots of stories. No, you've graduated from that old, or at least you've crossed to the next stage of your evolution, right? You are gloriously awakened and aware of your higher self, right? And pardon me when I say you, I mean we. I teach what I need to learn, right? So when I say you, I mean me. But does that resonate with you, right? 1 minute you're just in total bliss, and then next thing it's like the whole world is crashing down on you, like testing your strength. So yeah, if that is true for you, I'd love to hear your experience. And it is draining and exhausting, okay? This business of waking up takes a lot of focus, takes a lot of commitment. It's not for the faint of heart, and it can be so draining and exhausting if, and write this down, it is draining and exhausting if one is still functioning from the old consciousness of fear, lack, and limitation. The consciousness of I don't deserve, I'm not enough, there's not enough to go around, the low self-worth victim state of consciousness. If you are disconnected and going against the flow, it would feel like that the rug is being pulled from underneath you, and it would feel like the whole world is abandoning you. Your own God, your own creator, your own self is abandoning you. If it is founded in the old unsustainable energies of fear, lack, and separation, it would feel like you are crashing straight into burnout and soul fatigue. So if you are experiencing confusion, like I know, how many times I caught myself scratching my head, oh dang, I thought I got it, right? But I don't got it. It's like, and it's a constant recalibration. So observe where your mind is going. This is a call to mastery, right? Mastering your thoughts, behaviors, mastering your own consciousness, and really being aware of the shift. So our topic today is it resistance or is it realization? Okay. And I'll talk more about the resistance piece, but I've been alluding to that, right? The resistance is you're kicking and screaming and fighting with all of your might, this change, this transformation, this elevation of consciousness that's happening with or without your permission. It is happening, whether you like it or not, right? So it's a resistance in the beginning when people are fighting it and unaware and unconscious of what's happening. So our reality, what we experience in the physical, is really a product of our own consciousness. And it's 12:30. Sprinkles, do we want to do a commercial? Yes. All right. If you're ready, Sprinkles, let's go for a break. Folks, please don't go away. We'll be right back.
Misty mountains, dusty roads ahead, crossing rivers, dreaming of a bed. From a window in the mighty clouds up high, I can touch a stream of gold above, breaking through its hold of light. Giving peace of mind to those of us who try. Try to make a way. I can hear you. Let the sun shine on the broken. Let the sun come again. Let the heat shine on the frozen. Let the forge shine. I am above, above, I feel above. You have seen a thousand lovely years. You have seen a thousand times. Seen them rest upon a hill beneath a cloud. Trying to make a way. I can hear you say, let the sun shine on the broken. Let the sun come again. Let the heat shine on the frozen. Let the forge shine. I am let the sun shine on the broken. Let the summer come again. Let the heat shine on the frozen. Let the forge shine. Let the forge shine. Let the forge shine. I am above, I feel above, I feel above, I feel above.
right, we are back. All right, welcome back, and welcome to those who are in the Zoom group and to those who are in Facebook Live. Welcome. My name is Tess Vergara of Open Heart Mind Coaching, and we are at Awakening Hearts live at Off the Cuff Radio. So we are talking about, is it resistance or realization? Because we are living awake now in this new world. We've changed our vibrational address, right? We've up-leveled our vibration. We are in this brand new vibrational address. And so let's explore whether the uneasiness, the discomfort that's showing up in you while you are awake in the new world, this new reality that you, as the powerful creator being, is creating. This is the new you that you're creating, your new world, your new universe, right? Your new everything. Is the uneasiness, the discomfort coming from resistance or coming from realization? Is it judgment or awareness? Is it attachment to the old way of being or a knowingness of a new way of being, of just being, right? So here's what I'm noticing lately. My clients use personal development to block and derail their own progress and ascent to new consciousness. They are on a whole new level of awareness and consciousness, yet still using the same pattern to hold themselves back from fully owning their greatness and magnificence. Does that resonate? It's still the same old pattern, but using it in the new consciousness. So it's like a step back. So again, what I'm saying is when you're transitioning from the old world to the new world, there will be setbacks, right? Because you are fine-tuning your reality. You are fine-tuning your preferences. You are fine-tuning what it is that you want to experience rather than what you just blindly took on before, like, like what did they say? The roll of the dice had control over your destiny. But now that's no longer, you already know that that's not who you are. You're stepping into the truth of who you are, right? But in stepping into it, is it resistance or realization? This was, I have a client who had a realization, but when she talked to me about it, she was talking from a language of, what am I going to do? Why am I still resisting this, Tess? And so I'll give you a little bit of a story behind that. My job as a coach, is to mirror back where people are getting in their own way. So in my 6 months awakening coaching package, my clients get unlimited access to me via via text and email in between sessions, because this is when they're on their own, and when fear shows up, when something new or a new level, they're reaching for something new in their life and they're experiencing a setback. And so that's when they text me and email me, because they're in their struggle. They're in that moment of resistance or whatever that is that they're wanting to break through, right? Because when it's at the session and they bring it up, it's already the past, it's already memory. It's no longer as accurate, or you're not feeling into the emotions any longer if I wait until the next session. So in between sessions, they have unlimited access to me via text and email, and that's why it's a high-end package. So yeah, I get to guide them out of their stuckness into a whole new way of looking at things so that they can move forward, right? Instead of doing new things in the old consciousness. So anyway, long story short, a client emailed me after a huge insight and breakthrough how to improve her relationship with her grandmother. And she wrote to me, I feel resistance towards making her happy because I have spent so much time and energy in the past to support her. And I was always left feeling tired and powerless in my ability to help her. And I know it's not my responsibility now. The new awareness, as she's describing it, is I know now that it's not my responsible to make her happy. But I feel this huge resistance. Is there anything I can do to take away the resistance and support her in her needs, since I want to be able to do it out of love for her and myself? So do you understand the inspiration behind this topic today? Is it resistance or realization? Is it resistance? Is it judgment or awareness? Right? So here's what I wrote back to her. If you approach making her happy as a way to fix her, as if there is something wrong with her, then you got it. It would feel heavy, obligatory, inauthentic. And that's why you feel out of alignment, and that's why you feel tired and powerless. Now, so here's the shift that I was telling her. If you want to make her happy because you want to contribute to her, because it is your nature, we are wired to contribute, right? That is our nature. But what if that contribution is not to fix or do what you should do, but because it gives you great satisfaction to express your authentic being? Is the love that you are waiting to be fully expressed and cannot be contained any longer, does that feel heavy any longer? Right? So if you just lean in, that it's not a matter of choosing, but it's a matter of being the contribution that she already is, because she knows her worth, she knows her value, she's already stepped into it. But where there was a distinction that needed to happen was she was still going back into using self-development as a way to make herself wrong. Does that make sense? So is it resistance, as she was asking in the question, or is it realization that she's realizing that she's an entirely new being, she's an entirely new person? So the point that I'm trying to make in this radio show is it is so easy to step into hero or savior mentality, except what is underneath the hero or savior mentality is still the old victim consciousness, or it's still buying into the old paradigm that the person in front of you is less than or not enough, right? Because you needed to come in and save that person, as if that person is not divinity himself or herself. Does that make sense? So if you tuned into last or the 2 weeks ago's radio show, it's about unplugging from the old reality and really picking and choosing what energy to wear. And this is the same thing. Are you wearing hero savior mentality, or are you stepping into the awareness that we are all faces of God, right? It's just different levels of awarenesses or different levels of or willingness to step into it fully, or different life contracts. Like we all made different promises on what we're going to do here on earth when we came down to volunteer to make this world heaven on earth, right? So what I said, to continue with the story, is what you are resisting is pitying someone, because your soul wants to honor and celebrate the human spirit and not buy into the old consciousness of supporting separation, fear, lack, victim consciousness. And this is what's important, okay? It's realizing that the old consciousness is on its way out. And you just need to see the distinction so that you don't attach to it and recreate the old story again and again and again, and putting the blame on you, putting the judgment of you as not enough, not worth it, undeserving, etc., etc., etc. So we need to just see and observe the old consciousness is on its way out. Just because it's there in your awareness doesn't mean it's you. When you attach to it and you identify with it, it becomes you again, and you become unconscious again. I hope that makes sense. Okay, but if you are able to hold your vibration so that you are aware that where you are is perfect, and where you are now functioning from is pure soul consciousness, right? And you are choosing to let go of the old by not attaching to it, by not grasping into it, by not retelling the old narratives any longer. You're changing your language, you're changing your thought patterns, you're changing your whole entire physiology, that consciousness is no longer a part of me. You're making a choice at that moment, right? You don't live in that world anymore. You don't live in that address anymore. You've changed address vibrationally. So realize realize that you are in a new world that you are choosing to create as the you that has never been and has never been experienced and has never been fully expressed in this way before. And you're going to fully express it now in this moment, and then more again tomorrow, and then more and more and more again. It's infinity. Right? So we are in a new awake world, and we will continue to evolve and learn how to live and function from this pure consciousness, from pure unconditional love. But it starts with you. You know, if you're feeling resistance, if you're feeling not even resistance, but if you're feeling discomfort, is it really resistance? Right? Are you really resisting your own soul? That's the question. But if you're not, but if you're really intending to align with your soul, with pure source energy, then give yourself permission to just own it and stop putting the finger on you as if it's a resistance. You know, give yourself a break, give yourself the utmost love, and that you're doing the best you can to step into this unknown world, and that you are you are a pioneer in creating heaven on earth, right? Right, so fully step into it. Let me just check on Facebook if there's any questions. How are you all doing? Yeah, so I hope this, conversation today has sparked something new, has planted some new seeds. I don't know what she's talking about. What planet is she coming from? But then again, hey, it's my show. And you're tuning in because there is something in here that attracted you to it. And because that is you, awakening heart, that's your role to, not role, but I think it's all our purpose, right? Oh, I spent so much time, questioning myself. What is my purpose? What is my purpose? And that it was so painful not to know my purpose. But really, the purpose is to just be the light that you are, right? To just open up to the you that you've never experienced before, because it was repressed, it was suppressed, it was denied, it was made wrong, it was made small, right? But now we are breaking out of all that. Do that with me, be Incredible Hulk. Like, I've had enough of that. I'm breaking free of that. Breaking free of all the chains of illusions and anything that made us small or not enough. Just break out, break free of all that, because now in your physical reality, you are lining up with your soul's desires, and no one can stop you from fully expressing the truth of who you are, your spirit. Everything about you is yummy and juicy and wild, right? It's just amazing. So be in that energy of total uninhibitedness. Just let you be you. So what are the symptoms of awakening? Someone is asking on the Zoom call, what are the symptoms of awakening? And that's interesting that you asked that. Symptoms of awakening, there can be physical levels, for me, it was depression, it was dark night of the soul, it was, there was a time where I was having a headache, but a different kind of headache. It was not headache that was because of caffeine withdrawal. It was like I was wearing a metal band across my forehead, and it was tightening and tightening and tightening. That was a physical symptom that I experienced. And there was also like sharp stabbing pain in my heart chakra that I experienced, but it wasn't really it wasn't scary enough, but it was like electrical stabs. It was weird, right? And I got checked out. Actually, I was fine, but it was just that I found out later on, like a year or two later on, that it was awakening symptoms, but it wasn't. It wasn't. I thought there was something wrong with me, right? Because I went to the ER with this chest pain, and oh my God, and it was like electrical things happening, but it was really my heart chakra opening up, right? And my eyes too. It was like every time there was an energy surge, I couldn't see anything. It's like I couldn't read my anything on my computer. It was like, oh my God, what's going on with me? So my vision really would alter when there's an energy surge, and then it would be fine later on. And then right after that, I could see the aura coming from the trees, and I thought, oh my God, my vision is doubling up. I didn't know, but now I know what it is. After comparing my experiences with other people who have awakened. Yeah, so energy surge is a good way to explain it. Yes. Every time there's an energy surge, there's a discomfort coming, and it presents to my clients as anxiety. It can present as depression. It can present as someone going to the ER with diarrhea. I'm not making fun of you. I love you if you're listening. But these are all awakening symptoms. They can look very physical. but then you will be sent home by the doctor as if you're crazy because there's nothing wrong with you. The doctor will say you've got, you know, a good bill of health. So, but the mental and emotional level, it would be like you're in a daze, you don't know if it's night or day, you're just, there was a time that I was up in the air in the la la land so much, and I drove and I start backing up the car and I hit someone because I was still in la la land. You understand? It's like I was so in the ethers and was not fully grounded. This was in California. It was like I was just going through the motions, but I was in bliss. I was in heaven, right? And I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. And then boom, I hit someone. I backed into someone and I was just like, oh my God, oh my God. I'm so sorry. Please don't yell at me. Here's my insurance card. Just don't yell at me. I have no excuse. I don't want to hear like, I can drive. I know how to drive. But when you're awakening, you are experiencing different dimensions of you. Right? So give yourself a break. Yes. So there's many more. Those are my personal experiences of awakening. For my clients, it's procrastination because there's this internal struggle going on. There's this inner conflict going on, and they cannot tell between. There's just this huge resistance, right? Again, in my experience, and that's why I could resonate with a lot of my clients, is there's this piece of paper. I was an accountant before, and it's something I could do in my sleep, but I couldn't make myself do it. And I didn't know that that was part of my awakening because I no longer lived in that world, and I was being guided by my higher self, my soul, to move out of that into this, what I'm doing right now as an awakening guide. And I had no idea. I thought I was going to die an accountant. So those are the symptoms that of awakening. But mostly it's the inner struggle, it's the questioning, what am I doing wrong? What am I here? Those questions can drive you crazy if you didn't know you are awakening and you are being guided to something better, greater versions of yourself. Let me know if there are any other questions, Sprinkles. Thank you so much. And we've got 3 minutes before we end. So yeah, if you have any questions about awakening, about really fully stepping into your power, give me a call or give me a shout, whether on Facebook or email me at tess@openheartmindcoaching.com. A session with me is always complimentary. It's my gift from my heart to yours, because really, I really believe that each and one of us has a role in creating heaven on earth. And I just want to say that once you wake up, but you don't have a choice, you are going to wake up. But once you wake up, I didn't, it wasn't my choice to wake up. I was kicking and screaming. Believe me, I was as stubborn as heck, right? Once you wake up, it's a point of no return. You can do all sorts of resistance if you want, but resistance will only prolong your agony. It will only create a bunch of suffering. And you can resist, but you really can't, but there's a gift in resistance. Don't get me wrong. There's a gift in resistance, because in resistance, you surrender to the limitations of your human aspects. And then that's when you surrender to the gift of the divine, to the bigger aspect of you, which is your divinity. Yeah. So there's no going back. Once you get a glimpse of co-creating with your divine aspects, you're hooked. You can't go back. Trust me, you can try. But there's only fine tuning your consciousness. There's only self mastery into mastering your consciousness, your thoughts, your thinking habits, your pattern of doing things. You'll be very aware of how you're doing things and how you've created all your life prior to this, and just being able to really transcend, conquer fear, transcend fear. The more you transcend darkness and negativity and all that, you become the light of the world, the salt of the earth, right? The more confidence you have, the more you draw people to you. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Visit me at my website, openheartmindcoaching.com, and I'll see you again for another episode of Awakening Hearts next week, noon Central, 10 a.m. Pacific. I love you all. Keep awakening yourself and everyone around you. Love you all. Bye-bye.